The Las Vegas Raiders are a team that I think that we all agree kind of sort of overachieved in a few aspects in the 2023-24 season. Depending on who you are talking to, some people had playoff aspirations for them. I personally thought that they were going to be one of the worst teams in the NFL, just the way that their roster was constructed. But after firing Josh McDaniels, and Antonio Pierce took over, it was a complete resurgence for the Las Vegas Raiders. On the defensive side, they were absolutely fantastic. Aiden O'Connell did just enough to get by. Is he the quarterback of the future? This is a question that we will answer in this mock draft here. I personally don't think he is. I think he is a more than capable backup. This is someone that I'm not confident going into a season with, but this is a team that does have some holes for sure, but you got to build on the strength. And for me, the strength of this team is the defense. The defense played out of their minds. Adding Jack Jones really seemed to boost up the defense that much more. So we're going to see what we can do here. We have a pretty decent plethora of picks here. So I'm going to try and finagle, move around the board here, see what we can accomplish in this 7-round Raiders mock draft. All right, so right off the bat, we are coming through with a blockbuster here. I've seen enough. If you see the board right on top of me here on the left-hand side, you see that the first 3 picks kind of sort of went the way that we think that they're going to go. Caleb Williams, Drake May, Marvin Harrison Jr., whatever order you think that it's going to be, whatever. I think those 3 guys are probably going to be the first 3 off the board, to be quite honest with you. I've seen enough. Jaden Daniels has fallen past the New England Patriots, and that's what I was worried about the most. If you're the Las Vegas Raiders, I think you have to do everything you possibly can to move up to acquire someone like Jaden Daniels. Don't get me wrong. I think Bo Nix would still be a good fit, but he's not someone that I'm like, if I sat at number 13 and picked him, I'd feel a little bit disappointed. If I traded back and acquired some assets and then he was still on the board, then I'd feel a little bit better about him. But if I'm going to move assets to get my guy, to get my number 1 franchise quarterback, I'm going to move whatever I have to move up to number 4, and I'm going to get Jaden Daniels here. So it's going to cost us 13. It's going to cost us number 44, which is the 2nd round pick. It's going to cost us a 1st next year, and it's going to cost us a 3rd. I know what you might be thinking. That's a little high. And you would be wrong in saying that, especially on this website. This is the bare minimum, honestly, of what I can get past here. So to move up 9 spots doesn't seem all that crazy. It does seem like a lot to move up 9 spots. But at the same time, the Arizona Cardinals sitting here at number 4 are in such a prime spot. They know exactly what the pick is worth. They are going to try and squeeze as much value as they can out of that pick. And it's going to cost us a pretty penny, but it's more of a short-term big asset move, in my opinion, because when you're only messing with picks for the next year, not the year after that, like this is not a Deshaun Watson situation. You are moving a 1st-round pick next year. It kind of sucks, but who knows? Maybe they'll get back a couple day 2 picks for a Devontae Adams trade. You never know. That's not something that we're going to address here, but this is the trade, and we are going to move up to number 4 here. We're going to confirm it. Thank God. That would have been very embarrassing if that wasn't accepted after I said it would be. So at number 4 here, we're going to get Jaden Daniels. Just the ties to Antonio Pierce now that he is the new Raiders head coach. Not only that, he just kind of fits exactly the type of quarterback that I think Las Vegas would have to flourish in that offense. I'm assuming that Devontae Adams is going to stick around. Jacoby Myers is a really good wide receiver too. They have a good enough offense. Michael Mayer is probably going to break out in year 2 as well. They have a good enough offense. They have a pretty okay offensive line, at least the left side of the offensive line. Thayer Munford actually turned out to be a player that was very surprising, by the way. Andre James is always good. Dylan Parham's been really disappointing so far. Jermaine Illuminor is a free agent. Don't know if they're going to bring him back, but I'll just say one thing. Jermaine Illuminor's PFF grade does not represent the type of player that he is. The penalties absolutely kill him. So his PFF grade is always a lot better than it should be, but we might be looking to upgrade on him as well. So we're going to do the first things first. We're going to take Jaden Daniels here. We're going to get our franchise quarterback. All right, now at number 77, I know it's a far fall from number 4 overall, but there's not really much. My hands are tied at this point. There's not much more maneuvering that we could do, especially moving up. So at number 77 here, there's so many different ways that we can go. We need upgrades on the offensive line. We just talked about that. The secondary could use another corner. I think that the Raiders have a lot of good corners. They don't have that guy, to me, that is that standout number 1. And honestly, at number 77, I don't know if we're going to find someone like that. We're going to find another good corner. I don't know if we're going to find someone that's a bona fide number 1. I took a look at the guys that are on the board right now. I really like Max Melton. I've been a big fan of Max Melton for a really long time now. He's only solidified his draft stock at the Senior Bowl as well. He's a really, really good player. Don't know if that's someone I'm willing to take number here. It's right here at number 77 because, like I said, don't know if he could be that game-changing number one corner that the Las Vegas Raiders are probably looking for. But they do have a lot of good corners, I feel like. They have good pieces in the secondary. So I'm going to hold off on that. Defensive tackle is another position that I'm looking at here. I really like Braden Fisk a lot at number 77. Michael Hall, I'm convinced, is not going to be here, so I'm going to pass up on that. I want to make it at least sort of kind of as realistic as I possibly can. I know if he's sitting here, why don't you just take him? But I don't think he'll be here at 77, especially after what he did at the Senior Bowl as well. Edge, I didn't really even take a look at. Jonah Ellis is going back to school. Don't know why he's still on here. Offense, I looked at offensive tackle, and Kieran Amagaji is the player that I landed on. And I think this is who I'm going to take here at number 77. 6'5", 326 pounds, 36.5-inch arms, which is the 99th percentile for the position. He is a fantastic athlete, explosive athlete. If you watch his tape, it's like a man against boys, him playing for Yale against other Ivy League competition. He also has some experience at guard, so even if they do re-sign Jermaine Illuminor and he starts at right tackle, he is probably an immediate upgrade over Dylan Parham as well. So there's going to be a spot for him on the offensive line. I'm more concerned with protecting my number one asset, and my number one asset is going to be Jayden Daniels now. So I am going to take Kieran Amagaji here at number 77 because of that offensive line versatility that he does possess. Kind of feel like I backed myself a little bit into a corner here with that Jayden Daniels trade. I had to give up so much, but I think it was absolutely necessary to get your Las Vegas Raiders franchise guy. But at 112 here, I'm going to take Mekhi Wingo, defensive tackle out of LSU. The defensive line definitely needs an upgrade here. And Wingo is someone that I've seen mocked as high as late round 2. I don't necessarily agree with that, but I think he's a really solid player. He's one of those players that does everything really well, but doesn't do one thing elite or excellent, I'd say. But he's a very, very solid run defender. He's a good pass rusher, a little bit undersized for the position, 6'3", 295. But that's really, in this day and age at the NFL level, I don't really know what's undersized and what's not. That doesn't even seem undersized anymore. But he's a super solid player coming off of a pretty good season, 37 total tackles. I believe he had 11 tackles for a loss, 4.5 sacks. So super productive, a disruptive presence. And that's something that the Las Vegas Raiders defensive line absolutely needs outside of Max Crosby. And hopefully getting someone like Mekhi Wingo could also unlock the potential of Tyree Wilson. So we're going to take Mekhi Wingo here at number 112. And we're sitting here at number 146. I'm going to address the running back position here. No one knows what's going to happen with the Josh Jacobs situation. I personally don't think that he comes back. I think Zamir White was someone that definitely showed promise as a bell cow running back, at least rushing the football. Amir Abdullah, someone that's probably not going to come back in his 30s already as well. I think we need to address the running back position as it is kind of like a running back by committee. Dylan Lobby is someone that has just absolutely exploded off of the Senior Bowl. He has shown incredible route running ability. He's coming off of a season where he had a better receiving season than most wide receivers. 69 catches, 699 yards, 7 touchdowns to go along with, I believe, 715 yards and 9 touchdowns on the ground as well. But it didn't come with too many carries. I think it was like 150 carries. He had the 715 yards. He's an uber productive player. He's not going to kill you with his speed, but his route running ability, his twitchiness, and his elite vision is something that I could see translating phenomenally to the NFL level. So that's someone that I'm not willing to pass up on here. I know it's a little offensive heavy here with a defensive-minded head coach, but it's necessary changes for the Raiders. I don't even know if he'll really be here in round 5. I couldn't really justify taking him at 112, but if he's still here on the board at 146, I feel like I have to take him, especially before our 3 late picks. So Lobby's going to be the pick at 146. We're sitting here at number 208 right now. I'm going to address the secondary, kind of add another versatile playmaker to the secondary. Bernardo Green is someone that absolutely dominated the East-West Shrine Bowl game. He apparently was in practices, didn't really get to see too much of the practices itself, but from what I read and what I saw through others' videos, it was that he was the best defender on the entire field. So that's someone that I'm very comfortable in adding to the secondary because, like I said, we're not Unfortunately, with the capital that we had to give up to get Jaden Daniels, we're not going to find that X factor type of cornerback that we're looking for to add to a really pretty decent positional group. But at the same time, adding these players that are going to make an impact. Green is also someone that can play safety as well. I know that's a little bit of an issue for the Raiders. So, someone that's super versatile. If you can get someone at the back end of the 6th round, like Renardo Green, super physical for his size, not going to blow you away with his size, but his ball skills are really good as well, and he's super physical, which is what I love for the safety position itself. Like, if he does go back and play safety, he's not afraid to come up and make plays in the run game as well. So I'm going to add Renardo Green here at number 208. Number 220 here, going to add another Senior Bowl standout here, Gabe Hall, defensive tackle out of Baylor. A phenomenal week for the Senior Bowl. He just showed the amazing twitchiness for 6'3", 295 pounds, same size as Wingo as well, Mekhi Wingo. Interestingly enough, he was phenomenal off the ball, blew away, won a lot of his one-on-ones, someone that's been pretty productive as well at Baylor. Just a really nice late round addition to add to the middle of that defensive line. I just really think it needs a complete overhaul. When you have Max Crosby on one side of your defensive line, like, you don't really have that many problems, but the interior of the defensive line needs bodies that can produce. And with Wingo and with Hall, these are two guys that could produce from day one, and you're getting them insane value for the draft spot that they were picked at. So 220 is going to be Gabe Hall. At number 226, we're going to end out this 7-round mock draft here with a wide receiver that has been on my board for quite some time here. Isaiah Williams out of Illinois, 5'10", 184 pounds, runs in the low 4.4s. Someone that I think could be a really nice addition to the Raiders passing game here, maybe in the slot. He could also play out wide as well, which is something really interesting for his size. He wins in press man a lot with his speed right away and his physicality for his size. So adding some, I know we have Trey Tucker as well. You have a really nice trio. It's always good to add. We don't know what's going on with Hunter Renfrow, but it's always good to add players like this, like high upside players. He's also pretty good in the return game as well, something that we could use an upgrade on. So Isaiah Williams is going to be the final pick in this 7-round Las Vegas Raiders mock draft. And just like that, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Let's just do a quick recap here. So we had the number 13 overall pick. We traded up with the Arizona Cardinals to acquire number 4. We gave up number 13, number 44, a first-round pick for next year, and a third-round pick next year. That gave us Jaden Daniels, quarterback out of LSU. Then we came back around with our own pick at number 77. We got Kieran Amagaji, versatile offensive lineman out of Yale. At number 112, we got Mekhi Wingo, a super solid defensive tackle out of LSU. Dylan Lobby, a running back from New Hampshire, super versatile, fantastic playmaker as well. At number 208, we got Renardo Green. At number 220, we got Gabe Hall. And 226, we got Isaiah Williams. So, really top heavy. The back end is a lot of late round picks. I get it. But I think that this, for a team that definitely did a lot better than people might have given them credit for, especially on the defensive side, I think adding a absolute playmaker like Jaden Daniels on the offense could take this team that much further. So thank you guys so much for watching today. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, and I hope I see you in the next one.